everyone. Okay, so this is my first YouTube video. Bear with me. I've never done this before. I told y'all on my Instagram stories, and I believe 8 people voted for relationships / social life, and 7 people voted for mental health. So I'm gonna just combine them, and welcome to my channel. Start having some symptoms of depression when I was in high school. I remember when I was in my senior year of high school, I was like really good friends with the people above me who had graduated and gone off to college, and it's basically me, and I had 2 really good friends in my grade. One friend, she was going through her own stuff, so she like would miss school like a lot, and like still to this day I don't really know like what was going on with her, but like that's her business. But basically my senior year was like really hard, like socially, and I feel like that's when I really started showing like little symptoms of depression, but I wasn't like depressed. Like I would get like pretty down, and I'd feel like I didn't have friends, and like no one liked me, and I was just like ready to leave, to start college, to like find my tribe, because everyone always says like in college you find your best friends. So I was like, I'm ready to go, like get me to college so I can find my best friends for life. So fast forward to like middle of my senior year, I start talking to this guy. We met on social media, and he was gonna be in town for Christmas break. He was in college. I was like, yes, this college guy likes me. I'm a big deal. But we ended up like dating, and this relationship actually formed a lot of who I am today. Unfortunately, we're not in a relationship anymore. It was like really toxic, very up and down. It literally was like a roller coaster, not even exaggerating. We dated for a total of 3 times, and the last time he broke up with me right before my sophomore year of college, and I talk all about our relationship, the good and the bad. I have like a whole blog post. It's called Bear With Me, It's 2 a.m. I actually wrote that this past February. I had like a really, really bad dream. This guy's actually getting married soon, and I don't know, like I had a really bad dream, and I woke up and I told myself like one of these days like I'm gonna write a blog post about him, because like he's made such a big impact on me. But I was like, I didn't want to force it, and I literally woke up at 2 a.m. out of my dream, and I was just like, okay, like it's time for me to sit down and write this post. So I did. I call it Bear With Me for 2 reasons. One, because he called me Bear, like that was the nickname he gave to me, and 2, like literally like I wrote it at like 2:30 in the morning when I woke up, and I couldn't go back to sleep. So, and it's a super long blog post, like it's super long, because I pretty much like wrote about like all of the different parts of our relationship, and like just it was bad. And we started talking end of 2012, and the last time we were like trying to like get back together was 2016, spring of 2016. So that was like 4 years or 3.5. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk. Oh, yes. So I say all that to say that is when I was diagnosed with depression. He broke up with me. It was like really bad. It was like really unexpected. Like we had said like I love you, and like we were planning to, well, I was planning to visit him, and just like planning for the future, and it was just like super all of a sudden. Like I was devastated. My best friend that I had made in college, she was like in study abroad, and like my support system literally was not there. It was really bad. I had to fly home for a weekend like right after it happened, because my parents were worried about me. It was like really rough, and I was pretty much depressed from, that was like mid-August or end of August. I was pretty much depressed from end of August until Thanksgiving. I actually remember I came to Chicago for Thanksgiving with my family, and I realized that that was actually the first time that like I had felt like happy for like a long period of time. I had like spurts of when I was like in college where I did like different things. Like I remember I went to a Demi Lovato concert like a few weeks after the breakup, and like I still went to football games, and like I did like social events around campus. But that, I remember over Thanksgiving was like the longest spur of time that I felt like happy. And I think that was just because I had my family, and your family can be one of your biggest support systems. Okay, you need some water. I love really, really, really hard. Okay, anyways, so about a year later from 2016, so 2017, I like started dating this other guy. We started off as just friends, and it was like this weird, we had like a weird friendship relationship, I guess. Like it'd always get really flirty, but then I'm like, we can't be together because I feel like we wouldn't work, but whatever. So we eventually decided that we would just like try to date. And it was basically long distance for most of our relationship. Fun fact, most of my relationships I've only been in 3 relationships, but my first 2 were long distance. So that's just like kind of what I'm used to. So yeah, it was like pretty much fine. It was going pretty well. I think I knew the whole time that like I wasn't gonna end up with the guy, but like I liked him enough, and like we had a really good time, and he was like really supportive of me. However, so he lived in San Diego, so I went out to San Diego with him for 2 weeks because he was going to get deployed. And so, excuse me, within that 2 weeks, I found out that he had some own issues of his own. He had anger issues. Okay, so he like never like put his hands on me, or never thought he would put his hands on me, but he did have like some anger issues, and I don't drink. That's another fun fact about me. If y'all know me, then you know that. I don't have anything against people who do drink. I just like don't drink. And he like drank a lot, like to excess. And that was just like too much for me, and I felt like he would self-medicate with alcohol, and like that just like is not good for anyone. So that was that. And then eventually, like a few weeks after I came back from San Diego, I was like, okay, like he's going on deployment, like I need to break up with him before this. So I decided to break up with him. It was like a really rough breakup, just because like I was losing a friend, and like I liked talking to him, I liked being his friend, but like I knew that us being in a relationship like was not gonna be good. So this is like really tough. He like took it really, really hard. I tried to be there for as much as I could, but at the same time I didn't want to like inaccurately like represent my feelings. So yeah, it was really tough. Fast forward to spring of 2018. I started talking to this guy on a dating app. I was super hesitant because prior to talking to him, I was talking to a guy for a few weeks over Christmas, and like I really liked him. We got along really well. And I thought that we could like get into a relationship, but he was like, no, I don't feel that. So I'm like, okay, fine. I actually wasn't fine, but I was upset. So that was why I was hesitant. But this guy convinced me. We went on a few dates. Usually, I should have known then, because usually, like, after a few dates, or me talking to people, I don't even have to go on dates. Like, I know if I want to be with that person, which I guess is also pretty toxic. But anyways, I, like, prolong the talking stage, because usually I hate the talking stage, because I'm like, if I like you, and you like me, and we know enough about each other, let's just be in a relationship, because we're just, like, wasting time. And, like, I hate being in the uncertain, like, I don't know how they feel about me, and, like, I don't know what's going to happen, and all this other stuff. So I prolonged the talking stage, but that was on me. So we, like, started talking towards, like, the end of January, early February, and then we, like, didn't define our relationship until April. And he was like a really good guy. This was my first time that I wasn't in a long distance relationship because I was at home doing my gap year and he was at a college in Atlanta. And so we saw each other all the time. It was like really fun. However, I like didn't, I guess, feel butterflies. Like I felt like we were good friends and we like we had a really good time when we hung out. Like the chemistry, like we definitely had like a connection, but like I just wanted something deeper. And so we dated throughout the summer. I communicated with him. Also, our relationship was kind of like rocky, probably like a month in, because I found out that the guy that I told y'all that he was getting married soon, I found out he got engaged like, a month into our relationship. Luckily, the guy I was dating was super sweet, and like he knew that I was like still trying to get over that relationship, so he like didn't hold that against me, and he was like super supportive and all this other stuff. But unfortunately, like that kind of like made me like backpedal in our relationship, because I was like, shoot, like I'm not over this, and I just like was thinking about that a lot when I should have just been like focusing on the relationship that I was in. So that ended before, because we were both going off to grad school, so that ended right before we went to grad school. I also wrote a blog post about that relationship called Shygirl and Self-Sabotage, and I just like talked about how I felt that I self-sabotaged that relationship with what I just told y'all about, like still having feelings for my first person I was in a relationship with. And we're still cool now. We still talk like over social media. We're chill. I'm pretty sure he's like dating someone right now. So at some point I was like really, really upset. Like this past spring, I was like, why did I break up with him? Like he was a great guy. Like we were fine. Like I should have worked through it. And so that's when I wrote the self-sabotage post, because I was like reflecting.